Yo, what's up, guys? It's Felix from Giant Lifestyle. Welcome back to the channel. So today is episode 5 of Bought My First House at the age of 23. So like the previous episodes where I'm inside the house showing you guys the progress of the rehab, in today's episode I actually want to explain to you guys how I got this deal, what it took to go from finding the deal to locking the deal under contract, actually closing the deal, and what was the time frame. Because when I think about it, this deal has been nothing but a roller coaster, but the payoff is going to be massive. And I think the deals that I do after this deal might not even be as profitable as this deal. Keep in mind, I bought a house for 30,000, and this house could sell up to 230,000, maybe even 240,000. But my plan is to just list it perfectly so that it sells quickly. So what I want to talk about in this video is basically the process, the timeline, what it took, how I found the deal, and everything that went into it. Because, like I said, it's been a roller coaster. So, basically, just quick story if you guys don't know my history with real estate. I dropped out of college in February of 2014 after I was recommended a real estate book. I read the book, I learned about creative real estate investing, which is wholesaling. I dropped out of college and I took immediate action into real estate wholesaling. And it took me a long time to see results, but I finally did. And when I first dropped out of college to pursue real estate investing and entrepreneurship, the only person that could really see the dream was me. Everybody in my family was telling me it was a bad idea. All my friends were telling me a bad idea. And the only person that could see the vision was myself. And a lot of people will think you're crazy when you first start off on your goals or your dreams. But as long as you persevere and you actually start to see success, they'll all ask you how'd you do it, what it took to get it done, and they'll really be proud of you, amazed by you, and inspired by you because you never gave up. And it's so few people out there who actually achieve their goals. It's so worth it when you actually achieve success, when you've been through the jungle and you've been on the roller coaster. So fast forward 3 to 4 years, I took a real estate mentorship, and basically how I found out about this particular property that I'm working on right now is I had a real estate mentor where he was teaching me some stuff with real estate, and I was also doing some business with him as far as different businesses we were building, and I actually helped him with his consulting business at the time. Well, he had a contractor. What he actually did and how he got rich in real estate is he fixed and flipped a lot of houses like I'm doing with this current house, and he took all the money he made from fixing and flipping and bought a bunch of apartment rentals. And I actually asked him, hey man, do you want to partner on some fix and flips? And he said that he didn't want to do any more fix and flips. And at the current time, I don't do any more business with him because I wanted to get into fix and flips and flip a house and make 30 to 75,000 per flip. Those are the margins depending on the market you're in, how much you can make per flip. And he said he didn't want to do it. So I said, hey man, can you recommend a good contractor? And he recommended his contractor to me. So his contractor actually was already at the time fixing up almost 10 houses. And I went to his different job sites and he had some really nice work. But to be honest, his schedule was so crazy that, he probably wasn't even going to be able to fix up or work with me at the time. But what he did have was he had a relationship or connect with somebody who had really, really good deals. And I think within the first 2 weeks of meeting him, he took me to a property in an urban city and he showed me this property. It was vacant, and I remember the day clear as day. He took us to the property, me and my business partner. He brought us inside and he gave us the whole game plan. He was like, we're going to knock this wall down, we're going to do this with the kitchen, we're going to do this with every single part of the house. And he basically was feeding us the deal. This is what a wholesaler does. A wholesaler will find you the house and they'll say, hey, for $5,000 to $10,000, you can buy it, you can fix it, you can flip it and make 80K. Just give me 10K. And that was the first real estate deal I ever did, was for 6K. I found a house that was worth 230. I put it under contract for 85 and I sold it to a cash buyer or a fix and flip investor, which is now the position that I'm in, for 91 and kept the difference of 6K. So after he showed me the property, it came down to a timeline of how am I going to actually buy the property. Even though I did make a lot of money from medical commodities, I didn't really have 90K in the bank to where I could do the flip and pay for the full flip in cash. And now that I know about it, going forward, I won't use all of my own cash for a deal. It's very smart to leverage banks and leverage lenders to do all your deals until you at least get to the 8 and 9 figure range. Always use, not well, it depends on the deal, but 9 times out of 10, it's smart to use a lender so you can use leverage. So it came down to a timeline of how am I actually going to fund this deal. And I thought about ways to come up with the purchase price of 30K, but I didn't know how I would go about, funding the rehab price of 50 to 75K. So what I actually did is I spoke to a hard money lender, and I've actually never worked with hard money before. I did do a few flips or a few real estate projects where I'd put up some money with different people and they would give me a kickback, but I never did my own official deal. So I actually got qualified to work with a hard money lender. And a hard money lender is basically a company where they lend out their money and they get between 9 and 20% on their money. That's way better than you could do with stocks, the bank, because if they lend out basically 100,000, they will get back between 100 and 8 or 120,000. And if they keep lending out a bunch of money to a bunch of different projects, they're guaranteed to get a return because they know that real estate is a tangible business or a tangible piece of property that, worst case scenario, they could always then step in if the borrower fucks up on the loan and fix up the property, resell it, and get their money back. So I qualified to work with a hard money lender, and the process was going pretty quick. A hard money lender then comes out to the property, evaluates it, and see if it's a good deal based off the purchase price, based off the rehab price, and when they checked out the property, they realized that it was a good deal and they approved me to loan me the money. And from the time that we found it, maybe 30 days later, we were set to close. We found the property on January 21st was the first day that my old real estate mentor's contractor brought us to. And we were set to close March 1st, but there was tons of miscommunication, and there was a lot of backup with the seller's attorney. The person who owned this property was a company in Texas. Keep in mind, I'm in New Jersey, that basically foreclosed on tax default properties. The people who owned this property weren't paying their taxes, and it gets more or less got put up for auction, and this company bought it, and then they foreclosed on the property and sold it to us for 30K. So we were set to close on March 1st, but it kept get pushed back. It got pushed back to April, it got pushed back to May, and we finally closed May 25th. And one of the biggest problems was, one, the contractor that showed us the property actually was never really able to actually fulfill on his end and do the property. There are a lot of things that behind why he wasn't able to do the project, but that video could be hours and hours long. But to keep it short, we actually never worked with him on the flip. What happened is when I was doing one of my other businesses, medical commodities, I ran into a contractor who said that he could um, do the property for us. And long story short, I've actually had to let him go and bring on a new contractor. And if you guys have seen the work in my current flip, it's been really good. So one thing, just I don't want to make a video as far as tips about the fix and flip process or real estate investing, but don't listen to people's talk. Listen to their walk, because a lot of people, as far as real estate investors or contractors, will say, "Hey man, I do great work. I'm on time. I'm legit with the money," or "Hey man, I'm a cash buyer. I can close in 5 days." And it's mostly just talk and no walk. So always listen and watch people's actions and not their words. So basically, the first contractor, he couldn't actually follow through with the deal, but we did find out that he did have the property under contract, so he got like a few $1,000 assignment fee. So we actually ended up closing on the property May 25th from the scheduled date of March 1st. One of the biggest roadblocks we had after the contractor not being able to fulfill, the first contractor that brought us the deal not being able to move forward and fix and flip the project, was the seller's attorney didn't really like us or my attorney. One, my attorney said, hey, this deal might not go down. You might have to just go find another deal. And, I already knew that we came way too far. Me and my business partner, we had to get a fire inspection. We had to get a temporary CO. We had to do tons of paperwork. And I always thought, like, man, if this deal's going to die, let's burn it to the ground. So I think me and my business partner went back and forth to the property before we even bought it to get a bunch of different paperwork approved to buy it, as far as the lender, as far as the city, and as far as myself as the borrower. At least 20 times we had to, pass an inspection, and it was a real tough process. And I thought, if this deal's going to go down, let's go down swinging. I'm not just going to give up on this deal. So when my attorney told me, hey, we might just have to find a new deal, I said, no, let me talk to the seller's attorney. And I actually called the seller's attorney and said, hey, man, how can we get this deal straightened out? I know that this paperwork is a little confusing. I know you're not really feeling it, but let's just try and get this deal done. We want to buy it. And I kind of got the vibe from him that he had some sort of envy or hate towards me. Keep in mind, I'm only 23, and when you tell somebody that's much older than you, from my own experience, sometimes they get envy of your success. I know that there's an abundance of money and success and wealth out here, but other people don't always think that way. So after at least 45 days of going back and forth with him, we got him to agree and finalize all the paperwork. Then we scheduled a temporary CO inspection where they came out and actually got the temporary CO. And we were so hungry for the deal. We knew the numbers, the potential, the profit on the deal, that we were almost going to basically put the paperwork to the side and avoid it just so we could get the deal, because we knew how much potential was in the deal. And I think when it's all said and done, I will profit minimum 75,000 because the margin on this deal is so good. So it's been a roller coaster, man. I found this deal January 21st. It's currently October 19th, and I think I'll probably sell it in December or so. But you never know what happens in real estate. It's always a roller coaster. It's always over budget or under budget, or over time or under time. You're never going to be, 100% on point with where your head is at. But the really important thing to have in real estate and in business alone is to have a strong team. You need people who are good at what you're not good at, and you need to be good at what your teammates are not good at. You need to have communication, and you need to have teamwork, and you're always going to be learning lessons. There are so many things that I never thought would happen that have happened. I had to go through two contractors, and now I have a contractor who I see me building long-term business and long-term wealth with. But, as a first deal, I'm really excited how it's turned out, and it's been nothing but a learning lesson. And like I said, I even had to step in slightly just to help my contractor, because we are slightly late in the process, to basically just finish it up. And basically at this point, which you will see in the next update video, is we're just basically you know, um, putting the cabinets in, and just to finish like the some things with the bathrooms and the kitchen as well. And as far as the money, how much I actually had to put down for this property, so like I said, it's scheduled or set to sell between 200 and maybe 230 or 240, but I think we're going to list it pretty much at the sweet spot of 219 to be able to walk away with about $100,000 in profit. And I had to put down $5,000 as the EMD deposit, which is a bit high, but I had the money, so I did it. I gave 7,000 for closing costs. I did another 5,000 for the assignment fee for the wholesaler, and that's it. So I did 5,000 for the person who brought the deal, which was my old mentor's contractor. I did 5,000 to basically lock the deal up into my name, and then I did $7,000 for closing costs. And the way that I was able to accumulate all that money was through flipping medical commodities. And if you guys are interested in how you could build a tangible business that can get you paid as soon as tomorrow or within a few days, if you guys hustle and find the clients and do exactly what is required in this business to start making money, you guys can make serious money. My first 12 months in the business of flipping medical commodities, I made over $100,000, and I took that money and invested into real estate. And I'm still building my medical commodity business, but I'm really ramping up my real estate business, because real estate is a business model that can never go down. The market might fluctuate, but the business will be forever. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys slap a like on it. Make sure you guys are subscribed with post notifications on, because the next update video I do inside the property itself is going to be fire, man. The progress that we've made in the past month and some change is unbelievable. The landscaping is done, the exterior of the house will be done, and 95% of the interior house will be done. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys show some love by putting a like on this video. Make sure you guys turn post notifications on, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.